Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. It's Shirley with Spirit of Matter, and we are in a Jupiter night and the Mars hour with ascendant ruled by the Sun, but the Moon is trining Uranus, and it's trining Uranus from Al-Qaeda. So let's call on Al-Qaeda, let's call on better per se Mars hour. And the Mars is in the 12th house, but conjuncting still Procyon. So we're going to call on Procyon. And some of you, this video again is dedicated for everyone, okay? People within cults, people outside of cults, anybody that has been getting soul breakage for sense of belonging, and that has no gender, nationality, origin, DNA, okay? People just say, oh, these people are reptilians, they are clones, they are people. They're living beings. The fact that they were born into fractures doesn't make of them less people, okay? I've been seeing around discussions it's like, oh, AI, there's nothing, robots, there's nothing human about them, they're just clones, and they're in shape of people. And I'm like, they were cloning people, they were programming people way before they were programming robots. And many of you have been getting soul breakage. This video has all the triggers in the world, so take it very slow and very easy on yourself and on your soul. Root chakra. Let's talk about the anus. Is connected to heart chakra. The soul breakage and the soul fragmentation of the rape of boys, of girls, of people is connected to roots, ancestral lineage, and again attempt to detach person from the soul, the body, from the own heart, the own lineage, the own ancestry. And what is the root chakra connecting to? The crown. A sense of connection to, people want to call it source, nature, a sense of hope, miraculous healing. And that connects to the heart. Okay? So a lot of people have been getting soul breakage for belonging. Okay, I want you to think about your favorite football team, soccer team, okay? Whichever color. If we go to the color red, is the color of the root. And for most groups that represent this, they have, they say they represent the working class, okay? Or Marxism, was basically Rosicrucians. The rot in your soccer team, in your labor soccer team, is a basically Rothschild. And that the implication on rape of boys, detaching from the root, the connection from anus to the heart, to the crown. And the crown, okay, very literally the crown, the monarchy. This is where everything, okay, cut from the core. And what happens when somebody tries to connect with your heart? You get the soul breakage within. Because that was the initial experience. And that is the initial experience when you go to your soccer team, or when you go on a date, or when you go on a church, or if you're secular, okay, for whatever you do that connects you. That when you feel sexual arousal, this is also the fragmentation that harms the eyes, okay, heart, eyes, womb, eyes, sun, moon, father, mother, fertility, eyesight. This is for the fragmentation that can get person to not see clearly, to have derealization, a part of what people call, how do you call it, when a person sees the body but do not see the person, parts of the body, okay? Those things all connected to that. to these soul fragmentations. Now, I did not come to bring you down or to break your soul, not at all. But I addressed this first because if I tried to address the fact that your soul fragmentations, even the nightmares, the night terrors, the sense of dread, the supposed flashbacks, it's not flashback, you're just sensing what's happening in the world. The body image, okay? Everything, your fitness, what you do, okay? Everything, those things right now are healing. But the soul fragmentation, the soul fractures, the soul breakage, sense of connection, you are letting it go. So it feels like everything is gebruikt, okay? Everything broken. But you're not supposed to stay with the everything broken. It's awareness of the soul fragmentation, because your soul is asking for itself back, united. And it is scary, because any sense of connection invokes the soul fragmentation, the soul breakage, the rapes of you, of your loved ones, of incest, of your soccer team, of your imam, of your guru, of your priest, of your rabbi, of all of these things. That's why you can wake up right now to night terrors. And everything reminds you of love, of joy. Is bringing up the soul fragmentation to be purged from your soul. This is what's happening. It's a balance, the yin-yang, purging the trauma bonds. You think trauma bonds, so we've got used to say trauma bonds, that there is a damsel in distress and she's dating a freaking narc, which is no different to anyone, okay? And we blame her. Why you date this guy, not that guy? Well, if she dated you, you would act like this guy. Why? Because it would bring up the soul fragmentation in you. But what about when you date your mosque, or when you date your religion, or when you date your favorite soccer team, or when you date for your ideas, and when you date because every place you want to have your dreams achieved is MK Ultra, which is rape of the anus that disconnects from the heart, that disconnects from the crown. So all is inverted, from the monarchy to the root, to the connection with ancestors, because if it's inbred incest cult, then it feels all encompassing, and all of that is going down, okay, is breaking the fuck down when genuine happiness, genuine benevolence, genuine connection, genuine love that you've been manifesting, and it's inside of you before you see it outside of you. It's inside of your soul. It's you been asking for recovery, for a love that is true, for a joy that's actually joyous, for a love that's actually loving, okay? All MK Ultra must go kaput. And then you begin to run into people, situations. I have a colleague, and he was in many ways a teacher of astrology, not because his name not signed on my talents, because I do things my way, but he shared a lot of information free, and I know a lot of astrology, Hellenistic astrology from him. Okay, this Chris Brennan. And he had relationship before his Saturn return, very, very abusive. Then, after Saturn return, okay, I never told him that that's the Saturn return thingy. But I say to you, he meets a woman, almost same chart as his abusive girlfriend. And he's like, he doesn't know what's going on, so he goes to a friend. Patrick. Yet another name of the cult, by the way. Patrick. Door die vers te gaan. Okay? And then say, what will be with this relationship? Patrick says to him, it's going to go well. And they're still together. What's the difference? Saturn returns, certain parts of soul fragmentation curated. What if your relational planets are to do with Pluto, with Neptune? Okay? Good morning, Pluto, Neptune. Life begins at 40. For some of you, mid-40s. Some of you even later, okay? What's to do with this to do with Neptune, 50s. Age 50 is where Neptune have curation. Jill, am I going to be single until 50? I don't know, dear. But also, you see why I don't give readings person to person? People get worried. Will I not have love? Your soul be manifesting for something. And when that happens, all the trauma bonds have to go. To your team, to your dreams, to the way you've been achieving your dreams, to the food you've been eating, to the habits you've been doing, to the way you fly, to the way you travel, to the way you live. You know, my soul has been asking and asking. You know what happened before everything broke down for me with the housing? I grew 4 heads of garlic for this season. 4 heads of garlic. And I know when I grow garlic, everything that is not serving goes kaput. I tended to expendable children. I made talisman to tend to expendable children. Who, right now, person that of the visibles, he's almost head of Satan. I won't say no names. True, they gave him a pedo before the name, but it's not more pedo or less pedo than others. For the energy comes in, says, fuck it. It's those expendable children says you're not living in this house no more. This place for this person asks you if you sleep with your mom, this incest cult, no more. And it's the people that have been these expendable children. And it's the people that in charge of the horrors that happen in the world. Okay, why? My soul was manifesting. No more of the soul breakage. And it's like waves of frequencies all around. All the beings around me, living and dead. Okay, all beings around me. Something happening, okay? All energies that have been associated with me. In spirit and in matter, something happening. Everybody tries to find solution of what to do. But all solution not go no more. Espionage not go no more. Because that could get you to travel, that could get you to work, that could get you to this. Yeah, but that's what we've been eliminating here. Hospitals don't go no more. Extrapyramidal don't go no more. Then what happens? All of their soul breakage for sense of belonging has been kaput al go, like the Twin Towers. Everybody's a Twin Tower around. Scary. This is fucking scary. Democracy, first months, no check. What happened? You've been told. Tries to gaslight the fuck down. I can swear I didn't say that. I say, I can swear you did. Second month. Also, what's happening? You human trafficking no go no more. Ga kaput. And so people wake up with night terrors. I feel this. I feel energies around me. They wake up with night terrors. They don't know what to do because all the ways of all the trauma bonding is not anymore. But souls upon souls upon souls upon souls of men, of women, of whichever nationality, of whichever rank in society, commoners, cultists, inbreds, not inbreds, everybody, the soul been manifesting this letting go, shedding of those coping mechanisms where people were harloting themselves, and to abolish that enslavement for everyone, no matter who they are. So wake up with night terror. What's happening? It looks like soul is falling from underneath your feet. What's happening is that it's happening the way that you used to balance your bank account by harloting yourself to something. It's no more. Your soul being manifesting. Doesn't matter if you're Donald Trump or Joe Biden. Okay? If you're Darren Hayes voting only blue, or Jaguar Wright voting only red or Trump. If you're hidden mole, or if you're visible mole. If you're banker, if you're politician, if you're journalist, if you're actor, if you're juristics, if you're drug cartel, okay, doesn't matter. This is how truth comes out. You've been manifesting to rid yourself. You said no more from this, but also for your soul, what it desires, essence of desire. Something real in life. Something real, benevolent, joyous. And so everything that's not it is cracking down. Everything is connected to the soul breakage must go. All energy. That means old contracts, old structures. And some of these structures, the housing not housing, and the plane is not planing, and the politics not politicking, the democracy is not democrating, and the police not policing. We think it's good for criminals. It's not. Police just served criminals very well. And your team is not teaming. You don't understand what's going on. The ground is shaking. Of course it is. Of course, from the core of the earth it is. from the children, and underneath it is, because where they're gonna come out from the caves, okay, where to? Cannot to these structures, cannot to these houses. Can I house the child in the house? You know, when I came to this house, I heard voices of women are getting raped. Before me lived couple, they were all the time fighting, and the very likely woman got raped. And I tried to purify the house, and I tried to this, and I tried to that. It happens on lands. United States know that. What's haunted houses? Okay, a lot of people have this. You have to create new structures. On which soil, on which this, on which that. And the person says, well, is there a place for me? Yes, of course. Of course. You're the builders. But the builders cannot be slaves today. Cannot be slaves. What happened when the builders were slaves? There was exodus from Egypt. They built pyramid. Then what? They were released from slavery. But if you're released from slavery and you still rape children, rape women, rape boys, rape girls, then you will be drowned. If you're a woman and you still look at women around you, one woman got harassed, you think, oh, it's because of what you're wearing. Can you enter the promised land? You tell me, can you enter the promised land? If you try to deprive yourself of meat, for some milk, instead of to make sure how is the hunting performed, okay? But also if you say, I don't need women, I don't need men, where you're depriving yourself from connection, okay? All these things that have been depleted in humanity, but also if there's no place for a person to be alone, to be free, until they find connection in which they are free. Like some people, you know, let's say for that example of my colleague, if they had to marry him, a man, at age 20, and he could not divorce, he would be in abusive relationship forever and ever and ever and after. While almost same chart, after 28, different person, different relationship, different settings. All of the scare tactics. All the scare tactics. The gaslighting. Using sex to make, how did Darren Hayes write? You made the act of love feel unloving. Moet weg. Must go. Cannot stay. Has his new book out. To the people that when they're getting for this fuck this MK Ultra, and they comment and they like and they engage, even when they're within the industry, Then what is the next step? Everything that was soul breakage in your life moet weg. Okay? Cannot go. Cannot go. You've breached you broken the glass ceiling on actually manifesting your dreams without being slave. Your soul very likely wanted that. And very likely your soul wanted that. But all of the scare tactics, everything around that, moet weg. It is all including all. Cannot be just image. Because you didn't ask for just image, you asked for essence. Otherwise it would not be. People coming out of the cloud because the soul wants to live a good life. So all the tactics the person been trying to oppress themselves as coping mechanism, to subdue the spirit, to not to confront, they're confronting everything. If you live in culture was not allowed to confront the father, your father is in for a soul breakage. Okay? Or to confront the parent was considered disrespectful to stand your ground in front of your parents. Your parents are in for some shock. But it's better for them to be shocked than for you to be raped. Physically, energetically, or figuratively. It's better for your doctor to be worried than for you to go pyramidal, extra pyramidal, and then nochba. That's what they do. If your income, if your living is based on somebody being slave, surely it's no longer. What happens when slaves are going free? Well, you have to build the house joyously. You move some rocks. You create structure. Some of you are builders. Well, it's masons, it's builders. What is mole? What does mole does in nature? It builds dams. What they do? They create both constriction to the water, but also easing of the flow. So it's not overflowing, so nobody drowns. They build bridges. It's an architect. Now you ask for life, good life. You need structure that allows for life. You need to build that structure. I'm building that structure. I move soil around. I say I create containment. What's going to fall apart? Everything, because I need to be contained. Cannot be that I'm not contained in my housing, right? All the ways to subdue. Here we would say letayach, and letayach is also a building, a construction word. It basically means that, let's say you have a hole in the wall, then there is this material that you put on it to cover. And you can only do letayach so much. When there was the Me Too, then for the scandals, then they tried to do this letayach. Cannot. Not anymore. Impossible. have to create completely new structures. Goes to your housing, your business, for your relationships. It doesn't mean that you're going to leave the partner or partner is going to leave you. It definitely means that everything that was reliant on slavery, let's say your 8th house, your investments, if you have a joint account or business together, okay? If that was reliant on somebody's slavery, that link in the chain, okay, goes. And you see what collapses. Sometimes collapses more than you know. Let's say you are doing talismans, okay? And you put crystals, okay? But you didn't get to the chain of supply that is the miners. You couldn't. Up until today, very rarely could you. Then those crystals that you didn't get to the chain, no longer available. Now what's happened? You give up the talisman or you find new innovative ways to do that without slavery. The people you've been working, giving them the best working condition, the 4-hour work week, okay? But they don't have housing, so they don't come to work one day. You're like, why don't they want to work? They want to work, but they're still zombie from last night walking all free all in the street. Okay, can you house them? Well, what if in your structure that you bought, underneath there's a tunnel, there are children there? My problem. Okay? I've known in Israel people trying to find housing, and every place the energy was not good. Something was happening, energy or the pipeline, or something was not good. And it looks like, why doesn't it work for them? Because maybe they have carbon in the fourth, they were meant to change the structure of housing. But right now is the housing, so it's the core and innate happiness and ancestry. It looks like, why don't none of the solutions work for them? Don't they want to get out of a situation? Because they need to change entire thing that created this situation. What you ask for is arriving. What's not aligning is falling apart. If things are surrounding rituals that are around rape or group rape, slavery, torture, satanic ritual abuse, okay? Those products, what happens? So you cannot use them anymore. Or, for you use them, but in a way that will liberate these people, which I suggest you to do. Even this phone, why have I been talking so much about China? Because what's this phone? There's China in it. So we blame China for the Falun Gong. The Falun Gong is Masons. They're just sending their own into there and they blame it on China. But the Chinese dead vans, even if they are Masonic, they target also the Chinese people. And the Chinese people, if they still succumb to the sky punishes the land, they will very difficult to get to their own promised land, even if it is to stay at home. But when somebody says a sun without sin, and sin is China, is also sin in, yes, with Christianity, 7 sins, but also land of the rising sun, sin, China. They're American. Where are all of these things that you hold are produced in China? You're gonna get what you asked for, but if local produce is like dead vans in China, don't blame the people for the slaves not slaving, because they're not supposed to. But because your soul manifested this. Maybe when you became a father or mother, He said, I don't want my child to be slave. Well, that means no child can be slave. I don't want to be slave to my husband. That means no woman can be slave to her husband. And people begin to connect the dots that they didn't understand before. When I did Talisman of Sky God Uranus with Beta Persei, and I tended to expendable children, I did not expect that, hey, your leaders are the expendable children that they didn't manage to kill. I wasn't even thinking about this. I didn't know that, okay? It was in the back of the mind, but then no longer could I ignore. And no longer could somebody say to me, oh, this person is pedo, or this person is this, or this person is that, without remembering, you know, this is entire collision, entire structure inside my psyche, colliding, everything collapsing completely. And of course, people around you, including for those leaders, their soul be manifesting. All the molds, their soul being manifesting to build structures that contain life. Don't none of the preconceived nature, the unconscious stigmas stay. All of them have to go. The consciousness is changing, right? And this is a part of what Mars been doing with Pluto. Is just to break for these structures. So we break for the soul breakage, so we let in life. Don't none of the people that says, I'm gonna get this person from point A to point B, and the diddler says, but you have to make sure that you have snuff film of them. And they say, okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to look to cause dissociation for this person. And then I'm gonna do that with surveillance. Though none of these movies, though none of the people that were involved and for the creation of all these movies end up on the screen without being exposed. Though none of these businesses none of that. And though none of these mucklers that for promise this, for promise that, so they can house this, none of this works anymore. All moet weg. And for many people, women, men, they have never known such standard, what is said now, never before seen standard for life, for love, for containment. For every Gemini house. This 8th house, your business. 4th house, innate happiness, housing, ancestors. Seventh house partners, but also open enemies. You can have direct open enemy confrontation with someone. Nobody's supposed to rape anybody. Nobody's supposed to gaslight anybody. People standing 10 toes down, yes, because both of you have a truth. And both of you transformed. This is what direct confrontation is. It's the person 12 o'clock from you. And none of the tactics. You violated the person in spirit or in energy. You thought this is hidden. Well, check returned. Why? Because in spirit and in matter, was said, in spirit and in matter, you're going to respect me. You didn't respect me. Of course, not going to get paid for disrespecting me. Oh, but you have no way to prove. It doesn't matter. It's a matter of spirit, a spirit of matter. I have no way to prove. It doesn't matter. You want to enslave me through invisible ways. You will fall like a tower of cards in visible ways. Why? Because your soul has been manifesting. I don't want, this city is going, I know where. This city is going Satan. I don't want my grandchildren to grow to Satan. But you didn't think about, for when a woman is wearing a spaghetti shirt, okay? She's not immodest. She's just adapting her clothing to the summer. Of when a woman living alone, she's not whore of Babylon. She's just adapting to situation where relationship with will and consent is a bit depleted, so she lives alone. You forgot that you need to deal also with that misconception. Or when you agreed to follow, whether it's shape-shifting, whether astral projection, whether actual cameras on your tenet. See, what's that weird movements that they do? It's an African rain dance. We do it so not to slaughter you. But we don't know this. We just need to move energy around because we don't know who watching, not watching. Then you cooperated with this, all of this moet weg. All of it has to go. In front of your children, in front of your wife, in front of your family. And you think I'm going to tarnish for their name. Okay. Okay. You're going to tie yourself up in the karmic ties you try to tie others. Taking my energy back, taking my income back. I'm retrieving my ability to be active, to create structures, to do labor that brings in love and life. Slavery is not labor that brings in love and life. In spirit or in matter. But what if you will die? Then I will die. That's usually what happens in that. The people die. Now, everyone around the soul also been manifesting this type of courage, and they're courageous in their life as well. You ask, if I want to sleep with my mom, I take all the rent to buy best of food for my mom, most nourishing food she didn't have money to buy, and pampering food, and I put it in her fridge, put all the rent in her fridge. So I won't give the money to Makros who ask if I sleep with my mom. If I would sleep with my mom, would I rent a house by you that's separate from my mom? No. That would be incest cult. I wouldn't need another house. But I don't sleep with my mom. And not only that, I'm in better communication with my mom when I have another house. So I invested half my monthly income in such housing. Every once and then, my mom comes to visit, and it's a great location. Ease, relaxation. She could come to live, and I asked you, do you have housing also for my mom? And then you ask me if I sleep with my mom. So your house is not housing, and your real estate is not real estating. Or whatever it is going down. Because your soul is not souling when you're doing that, and you know it. And your family is definitely not familying when this is your family business. So all of them exposed. You send your son over. I said that this is a dad that asked the tenant if they sleep with the mom. And your wife has no Facebook. What happens? What is it, Nochba? Or you Taliban? My God, she's going to be a black tent of clothing. Where your wife is. Where your wife? The wife always disappears in these situations. Okay? Wife becomes Houdini. When I was in academia, wife suddenly couldn't come to the party for end of year of academia. Where's the wifey? Okay? I'm going to see her because I'm going to come to your house at the end of the day. I'm going to see her. She's going to see me. For some people, the wifey becomes you think they become Taliban. It's no longer visible, no longer, definitely not audible. Where your wifey? What happened to your wifey? Did you kill her? Should we put her on the milk carton? Okay. You're preparing the ground. Okay, if you're preparing the ground, then your soul is in between worlds. I'm not talking about people that always went alone and they're on bended knee, no way to be free, and this. I'm not talking about this. Well, you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure women are like the same. I just not surrounded. Okay. It's not that women are different in that sense. I believe. I don't know. So what happened is the old gaslighting ways that everybody been gaslighting themselves, okay? They don't go. Don't work. And all the people that were manipulating energy on invisible, I ran into men doing this, but some women were doing this. Some women, the entire marriage, entire family, is there going voodoo. Make this man ta-ta-ta, make this man ta-ta-ta, make this like, can we go a little bit more essential and more general? And some people have been trying to tire people to do that. So that they would think I was manifesting this or this. It's no. The spirit is not dumb. Spirit knows what this person been MK Ultra, or this person been doing weird magic, or this person been manifesting this, or this, okay? Spirit not dumb. Or some people think I can get this person, go with that person, then we're gonna share dividends on the wealth of that person, and that person is a welfare case. I know, because I'm that person. And why they don't work, why they don't want to work, why they don't, of course, because if I grow tomatoes, tomatoes grow. If I go to work, cancer grows. If I don't want to grow cancer, then I only can work in sovereignty. Otherwise, body collapses and your soul breaks, because that's what you created. If all of your jobs are sex espionage, men and women, which means everybody gets soul fragmentation for connection, everybody trauma bonds, alle moed kaput. And all of the scare tactics, they fall like tower cards. It also means that if people were in some way mitigating, all must go away. And death is okay. Also, death to all humanity, also okay. Also okay. These things must go. Anybody enabling this, anybody supporting this, all must go. Crossover, crossover. All of those controlling ways must go. Would not put the energy in people that lead to human trafficking. If we put energy into bringing life, all that doesn't support life must go. Whether it's our own patterns, that we've been non-confrontational, we become directly confrontational, 12 o'clock confrontational. And it doesn't matter. This could be, for some of you, it means you finally get the chance to meet some star or some figure that has been like an idol to you all your life. And still, if they follow for this slavery, alle moet weg. All must go. You get to shake, I don't know, Beyonce's hand. Oh my God, who could have thought this or that, okay? If she cooperates with sex trafficking, this must go. It's an honor to meet Beyonce. Beyonce must let go of human trafficking if she does these things, okay? Give an example, because she's like very famous person and people can relate. If he's channeling even, careful, this person, they tried to hide that they were what? Mole. You said, no, you were cooperating with this in your life. Maybe you had no choice, maybe this, maybe that, maybe that. But if you're thinking, oh, for the people have choice, but they are becoming victims, okay, of what not. Some people think like that. Alemut kaput. Okay? That cannot be modus operandi. In spirit and living or dead. Living or dead. Okay? I'm giving examples for general because it simply means that there is no X such as X is level of being, dead, alive, high rank, low rank, this profession, that profession, okay? And X is respected for complying with slavery and rape. No, and in no world, for all worlds, okay? This is the logic that operates when Mars is opposing Pluto. And all the ways of the gaslighting, and people better face this now because it's going to happen in 2.5 years again, but Mars is going to be in Leo and Pluto is going to be in Aquarius. And it's still the same. Mars is going to still try Neptune. It's just Neptune going to be in Aries with Saturn. Release a bit from the square to Aries, it's true. And not true at the same time. And still a sextiling Saturn and Uranus. 2.5 years from now. So you better get prepared. You better, what's coming to crash down now, you better get prepared. Because if you think, oh, I will enslave, but in a roundabout way, also that has duration. And I tell you exact duration, 2.5 years. You've leverage of 2.5 years before all cracks down. So you see even the breakage of the systems, but Pluto is leaving Capricorn 19 November. 19th of November. Okay, Mered Ghetto Lodge, the rebellion of Ghetto Lodge. The rebellion of, not the lodges, the rebellion against the lodges from within. Because your initiation is not initiating, your Masonic is not Masoning, your Freemasons is not free. So it can't Mason and it can't build anything, any structure that holds, including the Statue of Liberty underneath how many children are buried. We don't know. We're gonna find out. Sun without sin, with no sinning. If we're doing sun as sin, then sun and the sin, cha kaput al gol. What happened after Mao? They decentralized the Chinese party so no Mao can ever come again. But if it's still not working, then some more changes would need to happen. But also within the BRICS, also within China. What happens to the soldier of Kim Jong-un, supreme leader of North Korea, that go to Russia right now? They're going to see all the languages in the world at the grocery store, in a rural village. Because Putin created infrastructure that allow for this commerce. They will not go back to the same North Korea. Kim Jong-un knows that. Maybe he's been waiting for that. Maybe he's been manifesting that. Maybe he's sick of being isolated, but also sick of being this role of dictator in this human experiment, jail experiment. We don't know. We don't know. Life begins at 40. He's 40 now. Are the people who used to sleep in The Hague happy with, have a good night's sleep? Imagine you take out the expendable children underneath the bedroom of the NATO house in Brussels Okay, you want to think about Sleeping Beauty and the peas? Take out the peas because it can't fucking sleep. Okay. And everybody knows that's what's wrong. Everybody knows that's what's up. Living in a house of gold, but the peas underneath the bed was the rusty A-bombs that need to go in FIFO, but you can't really explode them. You can't really not explode them. The expandable children was all in Brussels. Okay, you need to take the peas out because no matter how many mattresses you put on, you can't fucking sleep. I've also been living in what seems to be like a paradise. But the human trafficking that took place in this place, they try to replay that. Gotta change this for entire apartment. There's no secrets. When you live in somebody's house, what did they say? It's like looking in the attic. This is not me. Jewel talks about 12th house synastry. It's like looking in the attic. In somebody's attic. Okay? And they said what I said. When I was channeling one person, journalist that died, okay, his son was looking in the attic, see. What did daddy do? What did daddy do? What did daddy do? Feeling the energy. I had no idea. Then through Diverstigen, right? Yeah, this all hermaphrodites, clones, snuffing children, torturing children, complying with that. Also this Peter rabbit hole. Which Peter? Then the sun comes in, did Peter? At the end. Okay? A structure. What do you think? A person could do such a giant thing without being a mole? He couldn't. Okay? What happened? Nothing. The son was looking in the attic. What was my daddy? What was he about? What his life was like a movie. The ripples it sends. Okay? You can't. When you live in somebody's house, you are living into somebody's psyche's attic. Anything that took a place in this house comes out, refreshed to the wind. Comes out, comes out, comes out. I don't want to think about people that now live in an apartment where I last lived before this apartment. Because everything, all the psychic attacks, all the what I've been going through, all the what I've been healing, this comes out in constant. It's not karma of the house, because karma of the house you can remediate. Cannot hide this, okay? Makler's owner of he built it for his family. What happened when he was building? Who were the builders? What happened to him with women in this building? What he did, what he raped, what he didn't rape, okay? You cannot. Because I speak to the neighbor and the neighbor says, this was house of family Shelley. Shelley Pelle. Van Miro, Pelle. Die Shelley, the family, die voor Shelley, okay? Makler Shelley, okay? For their house, they built. So I say, I'm honored, because he gave me the apartment in house where he built to live afford he with his family. Yeah, but all family secrets. Alle. Okay, the good and the bad. Oh, that's this person reviving the property. And then they do what? There's problem with the water? No problem. I create the half moons for bringing in the water. I bless the soil. What has been holding the water? The water in the pipes are leaking, okay? But the water in the soil, what has been holding the water? Everything that brings drought. All depletion of yin moet weg from entire contract. You wanted to raise the property's value, right? I do things to raise the property value. This is why you let me work that yard. I bring in the water. I make it rain, but I cannot make it rain if you're gonna deplete yin. That's real estate. That's the structures. All the things that we're dealing with, yeah, but also for good things that were happening, okay? Dealing with why it's difficult for me to take care of myself, why it's difficult for me, so much so that I have to spend money for other person to do my pedicure, not because I'm princess, I don't know, but because it's a depleted energy so much so that I had to pay money for other person to do that. And then I could return a bit for the energy. What's happening with me? What's with the cameras? What's with the surveillance? Why I feel so depleted? I have to clear energy. Where it's coming from? Whichever sources, also international, so all of these things, alle moet weg. All the network. But then I tend to my teeth. If I need to create. I tend to missing people. Things happen. And even family that tends to these things, now they tend to missing people as well. There was missing person in my family, my Dutch family. We went with journalists to Germany, and we don't know, of fear the family in Israel don't know. You think it would not pop up? It would pop up. It will pop up. Missing woman. Willy Youngblood. Don't say it, don't touch this. Willy Youngblood, yes. Should we put her on a milk carton? Where is she? Yes, not closed. I didn't know her. I never seen her in my life. Doesn't matter. But also all that's been trying to build upon the collapse to create even bigger slavery. If the old structures fall, then imagine what they try to bring the new. You think about people that been going through this and 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 this, and some people try to slave for them. What do you think will happen? All elements above and below, all directions of the wind. But we must take care of not depleting yin, because that depleting yang. This is why humanity going to what is going. The old structure collapse, not that a new structure of slavery can come, but so that we abolish slavery altogether. Above and below, within and without. And every time Mars opposes Pluto, we'll see that direct confrontation with the ways of the old. And everything that's no longer relevant from the old goes kaput. That's why the night terrors, that's why all these things, that's why all people think what is going to be, all the nightmares, all the chills. Okay, for my name Shirley, abroad it sounds like Chile. In Chile, I have a Mars 22 in Scorpio in my natal chart. So Chile is a spice, it's Mars spice. But Chile is also against evil eye. Okay, this is true. I was at hospital and there was child department and I got inside, okay, invade, and there's a board and a pen. I begin to write for the symbols and I look for symbol of Deneb Algedi. Then they try to make it forget how to paint a Deneb Algedi. I say it doesn't matter. I set the intention even because it's neurodivergence for these children, okay? It's neurodivergence. You set the intention. It doesn't matter if you cannot paint the symbol. Deneb Algedi will do what it came here to do. Safe and free children. No more kidnapping. This was on a Saturday. I did this, the holy labor of the Saturday, where Jews are not supposed to work. Okay? And as people were playing soccer, I was going to see for all of this. The expendable children. And it looked like what? You paint a symbol on this of what happens. Would you move the energy around? What happens when you move the energy around? You got to build structures for these children. You got to stop being compliant. But you go and when you enter nothing, I go to feed the cats. There's water for the cats. You have water for the cats. There are cats outside. There are always cats outside of every building. You only go to feed, give some water to the cats. It's nothing, it's nothing. Because when they kidnap the children, it's nothing. You cannot enter for the house of where the children at, even family cannot enter. Psychiatry of children, what you put in their blood. Publishers next to the morgue and sales department of what? Sales department of what? Next to the freaking morgue. As above, so below. Alle moet weg.